yeah. They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown. Oh, damn bless, I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. When they come with their evil thought, I just listen whenever they talk. I is the light into my dark. He cut and clear all my fault. They fight me without a cause, trying to make my life so hard. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, give it all reward. I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. So don't to mix me up in your dirty game. You're only trying to tarnish my name. You're only looking for the innocent to blame, when you're the ones who wish the guns down the lane. You only cause destruction and the pain, but the righteous believes in the rain. Love is all I got to give and I'm not to shine. Looking for the future, the slayer can't tame. But I'm so solid as a rock and they just can't stop me now.
So I'm here with Verdane, who is a West Indian American immigrant who came from Jamaica, and right now I'm just here to find out basically what it's like for him as a West Indian American here in the United States and what he's working on and how he's made it so far. How old were you when you got here, and do you know what were some of the main factors that you and your family decided that coming to America was definitely the thing to do?
Well, I was 5 years old when I first came here, and when I first came here with my family, I was originally living in Brooklyn. Family was just getting used to living around here in America. We've done a little bit of back and forth before that. This is my first time coming to America, but it was more so just getting used to the culture and finding our place in society.
And how hard would you say was it to find your place? Did you feel pressure as a child to assimilate and become more American, or did you just say, hey, I'm going to hold on to my Jamaican culture?
The New York culture kind of grew on me pretty quick. I made friends pretty quick in the neighborhood as well. And I had older relatives such as my uncle, which was not too much older than me, about 9 years. So he's kind of a big brother and kind of guided me through assimilating as well.
So was school hard for you? Did you feel a lot of pressure from your parents to do good in school? Because a lot of West Indian parents, you know, they don't play that. So when they bring their children here, they expect the best from them and they expect for them to excel in school. Did you feel a lot of pressure to do well in school?
Well, when I was really young, even before I came here, I was doing pretty well in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually really advanced in school in Jamaica. So when I came here, I was really at the top. I believe I started in kindergarten, and if I'm not mistaken, it should have been first grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really at the top of my class. Well, stereotypes, I didn't really face much of them.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a high school in Brooklyn, a predominantly black neighborhood, there were really a lot of Jamaicans there. So I pretty much felt right at home, as a matter of fact. I really didn't have any problems facing stereotypes. I wouldn't say I faced stereotypes until I went into the military,
Okay.
where there really are a lot fewer Jamaicans, especially, and even black African Americans in the military. And that's really where I started facing stereotypes. Certain endeavors, I'm pursuing at the FBI. That's my ultimate goal. So, I've been looking into the police corps for a while now, and I've come across some form of stereotypes within that area. But for the most part, I definitely say it was the military. I've faced the most stereotypes in the military.
I believe you. I really do believe you. Now, one of the stereotypes is not from West Indians ourselves, but from other blacks, from Caucasians, from other racial groups, ethnic groups, that West Indian people don't work up to their full potential. Now, you have a lot going on, right? You're in the military. What other things have you been into in terms of work, school? What other things have you done that you just fight against that stereotype, like to say that it's not true, that West Indian people, when we get here, we do work hard? What things are you into? What have you done?
Well, school, in an academic setting, I go to St. John's right now, and the Caribbean community, especially the Black Greeks and the Caribbean societies in the school, they play a very active role in the school, and they coordinate a large number of the more prominent activities on campus, and from what I've heard and what I've seen since I've been at St. John's, it's just been a lot of the Caribbean society. They just stand out all the time.
Well, my parents came here in '75, and they came from Haiti, and they weren't married at the time, but they came in search of a better life for their family back at home.
So once they got here, did they go to school? What type of things did they do when they got here? What were some of the foundations to their early life here? Did they go to school? What were they involved in?
Well, they both went to high school, and I know they got jobs, but my father, he went to college after my mother didn't go to college. So my dad went to Brooklyn College, and then he transferred to City College, and he got a degree in engineering.
For many immigrants, after college, your next step is trying to, like you said, get a job and also owning property. Did he own any property?
He owned property after they got married. My mother and my father got married, and they just wanted space, and he wanted to build a family, so he got an apartment in Brooklyn, and then when I was 2, we moved to Long Island. He owned property after they got married. My mother and my father got married, and they just wanted space, and he wanted to build a family, so he got an apartment in Brooklyn, and then when I was 2, we moved to Long Island.
So once in Long Island, I'm assuming you guys owned a home?
Yes.
So when your father got here, did he regret anything? Was there anything that he regretted? And what was the hardest part for him coming here as a Haitian immigrant?
My dad didn't regret anything because it was definitely a better life. You know, he was able to get a really good education and end up having a really good job. But for him, the hardest thing was learning English. Like, he still has a little accent till this day.
Okay, so his struggle with assimilation was definitely learning English.
Yes.
I'm Pierre Volsi, and I was 21 years old when I came here to the United States, and I came from straight Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
So once you got here, what was the hardest part of trying to find your place? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was it?
1 to 10 was probably 6. I was never exposed to different group of black, different groups of Caribbean people, and then I have to identify, who's who, who's what,
Do you feel pressured once you got here? Did you feel the pressure to try to be an American, or did you hold on to your Haitian culture and your Haitian upbringing? Were you torn between the two?
No, not really. When I came here, my whole family was with me, so it was what was important to me, and basically everything else was, not really relevant.
In your opinion, what separates Haitian Americans and first-generation Haitians from other West Indian groups? What makes you guys unique?
I guess it's the language. We do speak two languages, Creole and French, and that's the main difference.
Do you know of any conflicts between Haitian Americans and other West Indian groups? Because there are a lot of stereotypes and a lot of rumors that, sometimes you hear that Trinis don't like Jamaicans and Jamaicans don't like Haitians, or you hear that Bajans don't like Trinis. Do you know of any conflicts between the groups?
The only conflict that may exist is probably immature, probably kids from high school, but beyond that, it doesn't go further than that. And I believe the government gets along, pretty well, since they're in the same situation economically, and then they share the same, interests. But there's no real conflict. Maybe childish stuff between kids in high school.
Do you feel a lot of pressure as a West Indian American, specifically a Haitian, to do well in school and to remain religious? Is that a big pressure?
Well, school is a pressure. For a Haitian family, being successful in school is being successful in life. And
because they know what Trini does look, and they like how Trini does cook.
Short Hills. I was walking in Short Hills. From Trinidad, we have a lot of hills and thing over there. So I decided to take a little stroll, And before I could get to maybe half a mile, I was surrounded by a police car, maybe 2 police cars. They asked me what I was doing over there. I said I was just taking a walk up the hill. He asked me, which part you live? I tell him, I'll stay with Short Hills by this guy, Mr. Dreyer. He told me to get in the car. And he took me back to the place that I come from and tell me stay there. Which you think was right? Yeah, maybe it was right at that time. That was 1967. That was the most racist fucking time.
You don't see it.
It was 1967. I moved to Brooklyn after that because I had some friends in Brooklyn and I didn't want to stay over there, so I moved to Brooklyn. When I feel to come to Brooklyn, I was relieved to come to Brooklyn because I was among most of my friends over there, most of my people, I was relieved to come to Brooklyn because I was among most of my friends over there, most of my people, Yeah, so coming to Brooklyn was about the best thing happened to me than staying in New Jersey.
But the Brooklyn environment, tell me about the Brooklyn environment.
Oh, the Brooklyn environment was great because it's always nice that you're around your own people and things like that, In New Jersey, it was like white people all the time you see them. You don't see too many black people in Short Hills, New Jersey, unless you go to North New Jersey or some maybe East Orange or West Orange.
Do you consider yourself a West Indian American? What do you consider yourself?
I'm a West Indian American that, have American values within me because, I've been here longer than I have in the West Indies. I actually came here when I was 8 years old, and I'm 24 now, so I've been here for 16 years. Only been in Trinidad for 8 years, so yeah, I'm a West Indian, but I'm half American, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't really choose, but if it came down to it, I will always be West Indian. Yeah.
What were the main reasons that your family decided to come here?
I mean, everybody basically comes to America to make a better life for themselves because, the opportunities that America presents them. And, my family came here to basically make a better life for themselves. And I think my mom brought me up here because she saw the education system and what it could provide for me, growing up because she had me so young that she couldn't experience it herself. So she brought me up here to basically learn the ways of America, to take what I can from the education system and just run with it and take over.
So when your mother got here, what were some of the first things that she did for you and for herself to establish herself? Being that she was an immigrant, you were an immigrant, what were some of the first steps in terms of education, maybe real estate, work? What were the steps that she took?
Well, I have a big family, so when my mom got here, she had nothing. So when she got here, my family basically provided for her, and I think her first job was being a babysitter. So she was a babysitter for a while. When she brought me up here, she was still babysitting, but she moved into different career paths.
Why Brooklyn? Is it because you had a lot of family here, or is it because, what was the reason that you came to Brooklyn? Because we have a large West Indian population in Brooklyn. What was the reason?
We definitely have a lot of family here, but I feel it's the culture that's around Brooklyn. It's just not just Trinidadians, it's like a whole West Indies, Haitians, Jamaicans, and it's not. I'm not gonna say it's a family feel, but you could relate to some of these people from all these West Indian countries, even the Jamaicans. So,
could you tell us what a Jamaican is, please?
A Jamaican is somebody that's born in America, but their parents is Jamaican, and they still use the accent, but it don't even sound right.
Well, the correct term for that is a second generation Jamaican. Someone who was born here, but they still have ties.
If you've never been to Jamaica,
roots.
If you've never been to Jamaica, I don't want to hear that. I just feel like be yourself. Nobody likes Jamaicans like that. I'm just keeping it real.
Is that so? I know a lot of people that like Jamaicans, but we're not going to get into that. But since we're on that subject, there are a lot of stereotypes and rumors that West Indians give to one another. Could you tell me a few? Maybe you're Trinidadian. Do you have any stereotypes that Trinis give to other West Indian groups? Do you guys have alliances, or is it more conflict? What would you say?
I mean, we definitely don't have any alliances unless you're talking about dance alliances. Because I know some people that Shotters. Shotters, I don't know if that's an alliance, but it's definitely something that alternates from Jamaica. And stereotypes. As far as stereotypes, I think everybody from the West Indies definitely stereotype against Haitians. There's some great Haitian people out there, but I mean, we hear so much about them. I mean, voodoo, you don't hear. I mean, you hear about stuff like that from other West Indies countries, but when you hear about voodoo, the first thing you think about Haiti, or zombies, or Walking Dead in Haiti. Because I mean, I love Haitian people. Don't get me wrong. I had a couple Haitian girlfriends. But the only thing I felt sympathy for when it came to Haiti.
Are you aware of the stereotypes that go towards Trinidadians as a Trinidadian yourself? Because there are some stereotypes too. We can't beat up the Haitians. There are stereotypes for Jamaicans.
I want to know.
And that's just a part of the West Indian culture. A lot of West Indians, we stereotype against each other. But we also have alliances. Do you know of any alliances or ways that you see West Indians coming together? Any ways?
Oh yeah, definitely. Things like Labor Day, and in the community that I live in right now, there's a Caribbean alliance where the Caribbean people have Tobago Day. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like a day where Tobagonians and Trinidadians get together and just, you know, have fun. It's like a carnival. Kitty's Carnival, every carnival that you see, I feel like Carnival kind of originated from Trinidad.
Yeah.
So like everything you see about Carnival here in Miami, you know, what do they listen to? Reggae and calypso. You don't hear them listening to Haitian music.
Some
not all
people
the time.
listen
But not all
to
the
some
time.
compa, some zouk, you know. So
I don't even know who that is. I'm not one to discriminate on others because who knows what people are saying about Trinidadians. I mean, you can only turn the right cheek and smile about it because you just live your life.
as a Trinidadian American, how do you deal with, or how did you deal with assimilation? The problem of when you got here and you're meeting American kids and people from other backgrounds, how did you deal with choosing to stay with your Trinidadian culture and then trying to learn some of this new American culture? Did you feel a pressure to try to assimilate?
I mean, there wasn't really much pressure because, like, I came here as a kid, so, you know, my subconscious mind was just like, you know, I have to fit in. That's how we think when we're a younger generation. And when I got here, I got made fun of because I had the Trinidad accent. I was black. Everybody said, oh, you blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, you know, growing up in society now, like, I think I understand the values from where we was when we was 8 years old to now. You know what I mean? I love my Trinidadian roots, but being here for longer than I have in Trinidad, so it's like I would say I'm more American now because I don't know. I just grew up in this society, so it's like I can't even really remember anything from Trinidad. To tell you the truth.
Did you feel pressure as a West Indian from your mother, who's West Indian, when you got here to do well in school?
Oh, of course. What? Yo, let me tell you some stories, man. But she used to be really hard on me. But what West Indian parents did, you know, like they always want what's best for their kids when it comes to education. And she just pushed me, and I'm glad she did, because you know I wouldn't be a college graduate. I wouldn't be in grad school. I wouldn't get out of high school because half of my friends, you know, I saw the way their parents treated them. Like, you can't treat your kids like a best friend and expect them to, you know, do great work. You have to be hard on them. Like, every parent should do that. Like, be hard on your kids, and later in life, it will be a reward to you.
How often do you connect or send resources as money, food? How often do you send things back home to Trinidad, and how often do you visit Trinidad? Because that has a lot to do with your connection to your culture. How often you still communicate with your family and friends back home? How often?
Well, man, I'll show you something later. But I definitely talk to my family a lot. I mean, I have a little brother and sister that I wish I would talk to more, but you know how things are. Like, Trinidad is like still developing, and America's at level 10. Trinidad is like level 3 right now, as far as like technology and stuff like that. So it's hard to communicate, but resources, you know, me and my mom always try to send different things, food, clothes, different things to like my family, so they could feel like how we feel. Like, I mean, they could never feel, you know, the same experience, but they could, like, you know, imagine it.
It looks like you're doing pretty well. You're in school, correct?
Yes, I am. I actually attend LIU in Brooklyn for grad school for the media and film program. Thanks to Professor Manfredi. He definitely wrote me one of the greatest letters ever, and I thank him for that, because without his letter, I would not be in grad school right now.
So, grad school, but where'd you go before that?
Of course, I went to SUNY Old Westbury. I definitely loved that school because I think I got focused. I transferred to 4 different schools. I went to Nassau, Cheney, City Tech, and then I went to Old Westbury. I went to City Tech like once, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So I went away to Old Westbury. Old Westbury was it definitely made me more stable. I actually just went to school to see girls, but then I got focused. I'm just keeping it real.
Like a true West Indian man, but let's not stereotype. So thank you, Andrew, for this interview. That was very insightful on West Indian Americans and definitely Trinidadians.
Yeah.
And you said you had some stuff to show me. Stuff that you send back home to Trinidad?
Yeah,
I want to see that.
I'm definitely going to show you that right now.